Gemini. Again, y'all almost got through a little radar. Y'all, I was like, okay, I know when I did the live, I did 6 signs. I believe I ended on Sagittarius. So I'm looking. Like, who haven't I done? It's like, okay, Aries, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Capricorn. I'm like, wait a minute, there's one missing. Now is not the time to go hide off in the corner and not be seen. Shit. Now is not the time to be playing like y'all just... We have personal growth here. We also have follow your dreams, 85. That's a 13. It's also a 4. So it's giving me Emperor and Death vibes with the number association. But it's almost as if in order to follow your dreams, something has to end. And you have to get real sure about it. You have to be really disciplined and resolute about it. There's something you do, it's a habit or a pattern, and you caught yourself doing it. And here's the 63 with parenting. It's like, now that you see it, you have to call it out. But it's about yourself. It's not something that anybody else has really... They don't affect you the way that you affect you. What they don't know about mercurial signs is that the critic is in us. And therefore, it can come out true enough, but you're not going to criticize a Gemini more than they criticize themselves. Same with Virgo. So now you have relationship change with 56, and the higher octave of this is an 11, ascendant master. So you're sandwiched into this 7-11 type of growth. Not quickie marks. The fuck? Gemini, stop it. But what it's showing, it's... You're speaking from a place of compassion now about yourself, to yourself. You know what I'm saying? No more talking down about certain traits that you have, or really pinpointing your errors and your flaws. Why? Because that has been counterproductive to what you really have going on. With this parenting here, it's very necessary that you speak life into everything that you do, because you're following those words. You're living those words. And this is the part of personal growth that you really need to understand. It's like, oh, I don't do that good. I don't do that well. Or, I can't XYZ. Or, I'm full of shit. Or, there's these little sentences and little phrases and little put downs. And I'm not even talking about you talking to anybody else. It's some real shit right here, where you discredit yourself when you really know what the fuck you be knowing. The relationship change that you're having is with yourself. And as soon as you do that, as soon as you start to see how parenting yourself is really working out for you, like, you have examples, you had parents, whether they were good, great ass parents, or parents who really just dropped the ball on you. You have to understand, the person that you needed is who you need to become. The person you needed as a parent has to be you. So if there was a certain parenting style that could have been better, in your personal opinion, and you didn't get that type of love or support, you are to become that type of love and support, because someone needs it. They need to have that wisdom. They need to have that advice. They need to have that nature come from you as a trusted source. Even if you didn't have a trusted source to get it from, you're developing these skills to be able to use them. Following your dreams, though. This is on the trajectory of your heart and speaking from that space. Even that shit that hurts to the core is the very point of power that you have and you have access to. No one can ever take it. Ain't nobody gonna take your pain from you, so they can't take your power either. I don't know. I've seen a change in my reading style as of late. I like it. I feel like I'm getting up close and personal. And It's contenting me. Let's see. Your crystals. Almost forgot. You're getting very clear with the third eye chakra here. You can see it. Now once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And even in your comical nature to joke and stuff like that, think about comedians where they use their life experiences, and a lot of times it's their pain, it's their heartache. They do bring some type of comedy to it, but it's a comic relief. So if you are going to speak on it, do so without that guilt or that shame or reliving that as a trauma. You don't have to, because if you can find the humor in it, and understand the benefit you got from it, even to influence another person to see there's a change in their perspective about their own shit that may be similar to yours, you've done exactly what you were supposed to do with it. You have the root chakra here with parenting. And again, this is going to the way you were raised. You may have had a feminine figure that was not the most courageous, or wasn't the most reinforcing, or wasn't the most supportive or nurturing, and she just performed. She may have just been a mom, or maybe she wasn't a mother at all, and she was just a person who brought you into this world. No matter what it is, there's something. You have the people who raised you, and then you have the parents where you can look at them objectively and be like, damn, I needed more of this and they couldn't provide that. Just understand that that was from their level of understanding. They gave you only what they were aware of to give. They had their own bouts of addictions and habits too, whether it was processing addictions, the way that they think and the way that they, reason, and also if they had substances that kept them away from you, or something tangible, whether it be work, food, drugs, chores, it doesn't matter what it was. They could have involved themselves in activities and things that kept them away from you, or they may have put more emphasis on other people and been such great people to those other people, but the very minute things that you needed kind of went unnoticed. It's okay. It's okay though. You have the maturity and the understanding and the awareness now to look at it and be like, okay, damn, they are human. Whatever age they had you, if you've already been that age, or you are that age now, be like, damn, when I was this age, I really wasn't thinking about no blah blah blah. Just consider it and think about it. Like, damn, at the age they had you, what kind of mind frame were you in as an adult? Where was your head? What were your habits? What were your vices? What were your hangups? You know what I'm saying? And just understand that your parent, and look at all the people that are the same age as you, or were the same age as you around that time, friends you hung out with, and different things like that. You have a better perspective of the type of influences your parents may have had around those times. There's a sense of forgiveness here. Relationship change. Let's see. Again, we have root chakra. This shit will change everything you stand on, everything you love, and why you love it. Oh man, this is bottom to the top change. Let's see what comes out here. There's some things that you have never really just gotten off your chest, though. Honestly, when it comes to your parents, there's certain things that I feel they did that you never even spoke on, but you should have, or wanted to. And I feel like even as an adult, you may not feel comfortable bringing it up, because you still have respect, although you don't feel like you were okay. Yeah, you don't all wholeheartedly feel like you were respected. Why is that down? Okay. Underneath the deck here, I have Ace of Wands, Emperor, and Ace of Cups. It's giving me parent vibes where you, like I said, you have to parent yourself. Seven. And it's just, it's like a moment of it clicking into place. There's this Five of Wands and Seven of Swords, and it's like, if I say it, it'll bring conflict. And then there's another part of you that's like, man, say that shit anyway. Like, man, fuck them folks. But not in a disrespectful way. It's just, if it brings you conflict, it's like no more having to deny that this shit really affected you. And it brought you a lot of confusion because you're like, well, even as a kid, you can see where some things could have been better or should have been better or might have been better. As an adult, it's affecting you today. And it's really, there have been some times that it was the direct result. Like these endings and these traumas and some of the things that you've gone through have been a direct result of your rearing, of your parenting, of the way you were born. Not just born, but brought up. And there were certain things that you didn't know, or certain things that weren't explained, or certain things that were not given. Those minute things, those little things that matter so fucking much. And now you're finally getting to the point where you're like, you know what? It's either them or me. It's either they keep all the power for having raised me that way, and I keep reliving these patterns and having these habits and doing the thing that always gets me fucked up, or I finally stand on it. And it's not a rebellion against the way you were brought up, but it's just saying that that home was not as fucking happy as it should have been. It's not as happy as we like to think it was or say it was. Like, let's just state the fucking facts and let's be very fucking clear. Let me start asking questions about why the fuck certain shit went on, because it's affected me in a very, very deep level. And for the life of me, I'm wondering why I keep being put in this direction. I keep being shown certain things, and it's bringing me closer and closer to the precipice of the point of this whole situation, this whole scenario, the upbringing and everything. But for some reason, I don't want to speak on it. I can be outspoken about everything else, but something about this, I am finding it so fucking hard to speak on. So I want you to take a look at the Aries reading. I really want you to, because it's, first of all, we have the archetype here with Aries as the emperor, but also parent, the one who's diplomatic, the one who sets structures and things of that nature. And the energy that's supposed to be aligned with him is in reverse. And so if you had a better sense of what parents should be or could be, or certain things that a child needs, and this may even bring about a fear of parenting if you don't have kids or you haven't had those types of commitment that bring children, it has a lot to do with the way you were raised. Or if the father figure is the, I was getting mother first. Now the mother figure, the feminine figure, may not have been as, like, it may have been recessive, like a trait of withdrawing one's emotions and putting on what emotions should be displayed versus actually teaching you emotional maturity or emotional intelligence. You only had this portrayal of what emotionality should be, and it was giving this confusion. So when it comes to the masculine aspect here, there's conflict, but there's no resolution. There's like, there's terse words, there's harshness, there's a very hardened way of handling shit. You know what I'm saying? So how do you, that is an imbalanced situation altogether. It's giving me the Lover's card with no real, that, like, neither side is a good side to choose. I would dump all that shit down the drain. No offense to your parents at all. I'm just saying that There's a reason why you had to experience that, because no one on earth is going to be able to see the true, like for you specifically. There's a certain way that you look at paternal and maternal figures, masculine and feminine figures, stability versus empathy, and these two dynamics that should coexist. You're going to have to be the one who brings it together by confronting it, whether out loud and actually discussing it among siblings. I feel like this open dialogue with the mother and then the father will yield benefit. If the father's not around, speaking to the mother from a place of assurity, like taking a masculine approach to do so, whether you're male or female. There's a certain way that you have to speak and with a certain authority that really conveys the point. I want to start brand new and I want to start fresh. Shit gonna change from here on out because this is what I noticed, this is what I went through, and this is how I feel. Ace of Cups. I love you. But moving forward, there's a different way that I have to show and express this love because I did not acquire what I needed to. I have a lot of unanswered questions here. I have a lot of confusion when it comes to certain things, and I really have to stop avoiding it because it's bringing me nothing but conflict. And if I don't nip it in the bud like I know I'm supposed to, I'm going to be the one feeling the imbalance. I'm going to be the one left pretending that my household is happy and that the way I'm living is fucking happy. And I know fucking well it can be better. I'm just saying. And this is where the twin splits. This is where Gemini splits from who you used to be to who you're becoming. This is the deciding factor. This is the, where the limit is drawn, where the horse finally, the back breaks. Split the deck. King of Cups. This is a lot of empathy and a lot of understanding. You may bring the masculine to its knees in remorse or regret. That's not the intent of influence, but I feel that they know. They know that it wasn't the best. They know it wasn't the most beneficial, but it's almost as if tough love is the only kind of love I know how to give. And this can influence the masculine energy in you to give it this way. It has to be like this. So even in your love style, you may do everything other than what you've been given, or you could do exactly what you were given. There really was no meeting, but there has always been this subtle influence. So it may not have been exact to the point of what you were taught or how you were loved, but it's really, you got a lot of swords here, but you have some conflict and confusion energies too. You know what I'm saying? You have these new opportunities to be the change you want to see. You have all this root chakra energy, and this Ace of Wands is just like blaring like a torch, like a light. It's really lit when it comes to parenting and relationship change. Maybe that's the next step in your stage as a parent. If you don't have kids, in order to be a parent, now you're understanding what it takes to have taught yourself certain things, but also now feeling like you're in a secure enough place to be responsible for someone else. You really don't want to do what was done to you or lack what was lacking in your situation, whatever. You do have that backbone that you feel another person didn't have, but you also have that soft spot and that empathy that you feel like another person didn't have. So you have this delicate balance, and it can't be taken from you though. It's like, why? Why does this represent me all the fucking time? Why do my endings always feel like this? It makes no sense. So there is a whole metamorphosis, really, where these things do cascade into something more evolved, more advanced. It's like a person teaching themselves how to walk again. They're no longer a baby, an infant who has just learned how to walk for the first time. But the second time you try to do it after being debilitated or unable to, it's like trying to remember how you did it the first time, but it not really helping. You have to develop your own sense of how things work, why things work, when to do. It's your own systematic approach to taking care of yourself, to take care of your mind, your fucking mind, because the shit's been eating you alive. Really, is burdensome. And even the relationships that you have had have suffered because you weren't able to. It's like living a pattern that you saw, knowing, but it wasn't your pattern. This is just because you've never done it for yourself or weren't parented to do it in a very healthy way. Anytime you did come up on something that was happy and could have been wholesome, it's like, damn, it's still, it's not quite right. It don't quite feel right. And there's always a sense of suspicion and question and wonder, like, fuck, it was never good enough. And this is something that you assess and feel about other things, but it's also something you've been assessing about yourself due to the parenting, due to the upbringing, due to the trends and habits and the addictions that have been around your existence. Third house, communication, neighborhoods, siblings, short distance travel. This is, you going back and forth to school. This is you going back and forth to your habitual shit. You going to church. You going play with the kids in the neighborhood. There's certain things that you have this sense of familiarity with shit that shouldn't be familiar to you. That really have to undergo a transformation of its own. But it's always as if because the shit is outside of you that it's untouchable, that you can't change this, or it is the way the fuck it is. And even if these people are problematic in your environment, there's still a part of you that feels connected to it and going towards it at all times. There's still a part of you that you may feel like is not your best self, and you're still heading towards it at all times. And it's like, okay, well, why would you keep doing that if you fucking know it's like this? And it brings confusion. There's always some need of repair that you have to undergo, or a blank slate you always have to restart, because it's like you relapse into shit and pick up old habits that you used to have, or go back to the way you were doing things. And this is just, it's time to choose. It's time to confront this shit once and for all, and start to question your fucking self. Why do I do those things? Not question yourself as if you can't trust yourself, but start to ask why. Why are you doing this? Why is this beneficial? What do I get out of this? Why, just start to ask those probing questions, because your emotional satisfaction is at stake, and your ability to create something new in a way you never have done it before is at stake as well. And it's going to need your emotional balance, intelligence, and integrity to do so. There's no cards here saying that it's going to bust the floodgates wide open. You're just going to be in a state of awe or whatever. I feel like it's internal, where you'll feel a relief or a release of something, versus a downpour and outcry. Is not like that at all. I feel like the change that's happening will be viewed externally, but it'll be happening internally. It's like you're getting stitched back together, or there's holes, there's things missing, there's like parts of you that just don't feel complete or don't feel fully represented or accepted. And once you do the mending and you're doing the stitching and you're doing, putting in those internal sutures, every time you can confront something that does not quite make, doesn't make full sense to you, you're exercising your ability to change. You're exercising your ability to be stronger than your fucking pain, because your pain is the power. And so you're leaving this conflict and shit behind. It's like I could go and kick it with them folks. I could go and do those things I used to do or be in those environments that are conflictual, because it always seems that there's some kind of instigation or some kind of issue in places that you end up being. And it's not that you're always the cause of it, even though you get blamed, but it's an energy of influence. And for some reason, there's a part of you, the old part of you, the one side of that twin is going to be compelled and drawn towards it. And there's another part of you that's like, enough is a fucking enough. And that's where that divide is. And that's where Gemini starts to split. And really, you can see two different defined persons. And in another case, you'll start to see where you start to, because everybody has this Gemini influence available to everybody. And so you'll start to see you no longer align with that unevolved energy of Gemini. You're like, man, that's some sucker shit. I have other things to do, more focus, more attention, more productivity, more happiness to have over here. And there's no disrespect to anybody who's still on that other path. It's just a real, it's a discipline that you're putting yourself on. I feel like you'll actually be able to get the type of relationship that you've been hoping for, that you've been looking for. But it's one where you've already encountered it, but you might have thought it was too this or that, or too sap, or too boring, or something, only because of the way you were looking at things before. And now those things that you perceive to be trending or exciting or more your speed have actually been running circles around your motherfucking ass. And now this not so exciting or thing is looking more appealing, not because it's safe, but because you're learning this centeredness. This person was always showing a sense of centeredness, and I think now you're only starting to recognize it because the very things that you're looking at and looking for are surrounding them and is attracted to them all the time. And it's like, okay, so I did come in contact with where I'm now headed. So you prematurely were given this type of energy in your environment, this emperor type of energy, where the person, they have masculine and feminine energy here. They have a fire and they have a coolness, a quenching of a thirst. It's a hydration, but they're an emperor. So they could be feminine or masculine. They really do have this sense of balance. They know when to push forward, put their foot on the gas, and they know when to let it ride and just let it roll. They know how to ebb and flow and go with it. They know when to, this person probably knows how to drive really well too. Because I'm getting like when people learn on the track on NASCAR, when to step on the gas, when to step on the brake, you know, when you're going into curves and turns. And this person has a very good handle, and they know how to steer. They know how to drive. So if this person was in the chariot, they would. That's what's got them to this emperor position within themselves. Their willpower, their drive, the way that they use these things, their emotional intelligence, and then their instincts as well, has really brought them to a place of knowing when to pump the brakes on something and like switch lanes if need be. So I feel like this person will be able to show you that this is a healthy way to maneuver. This is a healthy way to maneuver. My sacral chakra just thumped on that note. And so I'm seeing these two cards. You need the help to maneuver because shit has been cloudy and things have not been stable. They have not been grounded or given that sense of comfort that you really need. So if a person like this is around you or has this type of influence, you may look up to them or feel, excuse me, as if you could learn from them. They're not sitting in a hierophant position where they choose to teach, but I see them as one. I see them as a mentor. I see them as a guide, somebody that does have the resources or the information to at least counsel. That's why I'm getting that mentor vibe here. Like they're giving me the camel vibe again because they're sitting here in this desert background. This is like Egyptian to me, but at the same time they have a well and wealth of emotional like spring. They have something that could really really give you a sense of refreshment, but they know how to utilize the heat to their advantage as well. They know how to get shit done or get shit started, get shit initiated. So they're really just they're there if you want to learn more. But it is solely up to you. It's not any pressure or anything like that. Right now you're coming up as High Priestess and the King of Cups. So even still, this thing that you're going through is quite internal, and you don't wear it on your sleeve with Ten of Swords and shit like that. You may come off as Nine of Cups, so people think that you're kind of gloating or enjoying what you're experiencing, but they have no fucking clue what's going on underneath the surface. But this Emperor knows. This Emperor has that intelligence about them. They sense energy and they sense emotion, and they can use these gauges in their own like their own program. The way that they decipher energy and emotion gives them a whole fucking picture of what the hell's going on with you. So there's not too much that you'll have to divulge or too much that you'll have to explain verbatim. They'll feel it and they'll know, and they will be able to still help and assist you without you saying or without you mentioning. So just make the contact. Just make the contact. Um, And I promise, whatever conversation you begin will end up where it's supposed to be. They will end up either you or I feel they will steer the conversation exactly where it's supposed to be. And you'll hear the words and get the impressions that you'll need to get. And it's going to actually help you with your spiritual growth, your personal growth here, the parenting, following your dreams, the relationship change without you openly asking for the help and without them openly um, advising you of the help. So it's a very subtle exchange. It's energetic and it's emotional, but this motherfucking person knows how to speak to people like you. I hope you understand what I'm saying, Gemini. I will talk to y'all later. Again, whatever it is that you've been going through has kind of had you off in the distance to my energy, but it's really come closer. Like, come on, come on, you can come on and just chill. Like, you don't have to say much. You don't have to comment. You don't have to divulge anything that really you feel is for safekeeping. True enough, but just understand, like, we're rooting for you, man. We're rooting for you to get through this, to pull through this, especially while the North Node is still in your sign. It's some very valuable information that's coming through, and we want you equipped. I want you equipped to be able to handle these changes that are happening. We are mutable signs and we adapt to change, whether we like it or not. So if you know that you have comfort or that you have support through this, I feel that, like, just mentioning that you will be supported through this, even in ways that you don't know or recognize you're receiving support, I feel like you'll be able to pick up on it, or you'll know. Sometimes support is people allowing you to just go through what the fuck you going through. So if you're at a moment where you feel like you want to be in connection or contact to something or someone that wants to be healthy, that is a healthy influence towards you, you reach out about something seemingly, and not saying that you're communicating under false pretenses, but your intention will be picked up on and it will be responded to, if that makes sense. God damn. I feel like a whole ass baby right now. Damn, Gemini. So just know that the person you'll be communicating with, they know that you're not lying or you're not putting on false pretenses or anything like that, but you're coming for what they have to give to you specifically, and they will give it, and it will be very subtle, it'll be very influential, and it will spark a lot of change that's going on with you. But don't forget, once you're on the other side of this change, to mention or let them know, because they'll need feedback. They're in full awareness of what's happening without knowing all the details, but they're a conduit of this energy anyway. Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups. So just acknowledge acknowledge this after, when you're in a safe point where you can actually mention it and speak on it. Just make sure that you give that homage to that person, because I feel like they're kind of similar. They're kind of similar to you in that they may question if what they're doing and what they're saying is really reaching who it needs to. So they'll also need you as confirmation as you need them. So yeah, that's what I got for you, Gemini, and I will see y'all next time.